Good to go? Good to go. Okay. Hello, my name is Kaoru Watanabe. I am a musician and composer and artistic director of Bloodlines Interwoven. When Sonia and Misha approached me to do some sort of musical curation for Baryshnikov Arts, one idea that came out was the idea of a world music festival. And fundamentally, I don't like the word world music, the phrase. Even though it's a very convenient word, there's a lot of kind of bias baked into the word. My whole career has been about largely around the idea of bringing different musical traditions and styles and from different cultures together, and to create new dialogues, to create new vocabularies, to have to see the world how I see it and how my fellow musicians see it through music, through the expression of music, and approaching it not starting with music, but starting with our bloodlines, starting with our heritage, starting with the traditions and what that means within the context, the larger context of where these musics come from.
And not only he asked me, did I want to be a part of it? I said, I don't want to be a part of this project. I have to be a part of this project.
And then the fact that we started with our family stories is really different, and really, I think, a new paradigm of creating from our roots and from our ancestral ties and finding links. I mean, it's been wonderful.
But it's to open up the dialogue so that viewers can also look within their own families and continue those conversations.
We've all collaborated with many different people in our careers, but you don't walk into the first rehearsal and tell people your life story, And so this is a very unique experience that we walked in from the get-go.
As artists, we're constantly trying to process thoughts and grief and joy and history and shifting emotions, and often through music. For us to go through these processes and kind of explorations and then sharing them with audiences, so I'm very excited about this inaugural year.
Some of us have known each other a while, but we haven't perhaps played in this kind of more intimate setting, especially when we're crossing a lot of different kinds of music that is becoming hybrid in a way, and what these tunings are, what the rhythms are, what the harmonies are, and also a delight to find what works actually, and the similarities of how they cross and how compatible they are, even though we have different practices.
We're all going through similar things, and sometimes it takes a while to find those connections.
But everything that surrounds you, your environment, from a child all the way to an adult, influences everything that you hear, and you can choose to be an empath and process it, or you can choose to create something different from it. But I think that all of it is a part of who we are, and there's nothing we can do about it because it's just who we are and where we come from.
It's like migrations of different species, right? When we have the collective, and even though we're all different, but we come into a space together, and we're in movement together, we're sharing, we're speaking things together, we're playing things together. It's definitely a kind of collective that emerges, like a new languages that are all a part of all of our languages.
The celebration and honoring of who we are and honoring ancestors is really important. That's where all the music comes from.
that's kind of what we're doing. It's like when we play, we're learning each other's rhythms and melodies and scales and lyrics, but also understanding, now that we've developed and are starting to have a deep understanding of who they are and where they come from, trying to tap into that more when we're creating music together. That's been a really remarkable part of this adventure. And so all of this, all these relationships with different individuals, with the instruments, and with the culture from which they come from, all these relationships inform every sound I make. That's really what I want to walk away from this, is the idea that there are different ways of creating art. And depending on, is the start line getting the instrument out of the case and making music, or is the start line before that? And of course, I mean, we all know it's coming from our births and our parents and our grandparents. It can go back as far as we take it. And even though a lot of that is contained within ourselves, how much of that are we able to give the audience?
So what do I think happened last night? I'm not really sure, but I kind of feel like for everyone who was on stage and everyone who was in the audience, I do get the feeling that we had a shared experience. And I think that everyone felt happier at the end of it. So that was very gratifying.
I hope that initial seed of an idea made its way to the person, and perhaps as it traveled through the ether, it hit that person, it did something that will never leave them until they leave this planet. You know what I mean? And maybe even before they leave this planet, there's something that was kept in there that they can then also pass to other people. So I think that's, if we have done that as a collective, hey, it's a done deal.
So it's going to be a little strange having created a family, you know, and now we're on to the next thing. So I'm very curious to see how this project continues to grow into the future, but it's definitely it's a deeply enlightening experience.
Part of this thing, I bought a map, and we've been pushing pins into all the different locations of where people are from, but where their parents are from, where their grandparents are from, and so you say it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's like a map. It's like a jigsaw puzzle of a map, right? That we're kind of putting together over the course of these months and over these years and these generations, really. And it's really interesting to see how the puzzle's coming together and how the pieces fit together.